Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Robert Kenobi, and this is going to be this is going to be a non-wrestling related video. I'm here to talk more about superheroes and superhero movies. So this video is basically, as the title states, my Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice review. Of course, Dawn of Justice, the highly anticipated superhero film, just came out this past weekend. I just finished watching it not too long ago. And after seeing some of my friends here on YouTube make their own videos reviewing the film, I thought, what the hell? Why not make my own video for fun? Because for the most part, I did enjoy the film, and it would be something different from my channel. I'm thinking of maybe broadening my horizons with the content that I provide. So not always doing wrestling, maybe talking more video games, like my buddy Brandon and I did with our Robbie and Brandon review WWE 2K16 video. But let's just get right down to the review because I don't want to ramble. So like I said, this is my Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice review. There will be spoilers in this review. I'm not going to give too much away. I definitely will not discuss any major spoilers. But if you're one of those people who do not like any kind of spoiler, then I do encourage you to exit out of this video until you've seen the film. Do not return to this video until you have seen Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. But without any further ado, guys, let's get down to my review. I'm going to try and keep this between 10 and 15 minutes. This is not going to be some 30-minute review of the film like I've done in the past with any wrestling event that I've watched on the WWE Network. So Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, for the most part, I thought the film was a good, fun superhero film. I definitely didn't think it was great, but I definitely didn't think it was bad. I thought for the most part, Batman vs. Superman was I'm not going to say good, clean fun, but I thought it was, like I said, a good, entertaining superhero film. I enjoyed the performances from Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill as, Batman and Superman respectively. I feel like Ben Affleck's Batman was more of a darker kind of Batman. I don't want to say a tortured soul, but I feel like his Batman was a little darker and grittier than like maybe not Christopher Nolan. Well, Christopher Nolan directed the films, but I'm talking Christian Bale or Michael Keaton. Henry Cavill, I thought he did well in Man of Steel, but I feel like he showed us a more vulnerable side of Superman in this film with his performance. Story-wise, Batman versus Superman, I like what they did with the story. I like that they had a story behind why they're fighting. In the trailer, in the trailers that have been released, you have Batman wanting to fight Superman, wanting to combat him because he's unsure whether he believes Superman is practically a threat to the entire world based on the events of Man of Steel. And a lot of this film focuses around, what are Superman's true motives? Who truly is Superman? Is he a hero? Is he a villain? Is he a destroyer, a conqueror? What is he, And Henry Cavill, like I said, I felt did a great job showing us a vulnerable side of Superman because, yes, Superman is a superhero. He's called Super for a reason. But in this film, you will see that he has morals and he starts to question his morals, especially since he's arrived on Earth. It's very similar to, in a sense, Chris Evans as Captain America. When you watch the first Avenger, you see him in around the time of World War II. And then in the Avengers, when he, when he's unfrozen and he wakes up in the real world, he's trying to adjust to these new changes in his life. And then in Winter Soldier, he starts to see some of the dark side of modern life in the sense of how they combat threats and whatnot. So, you could say in a sense that Superman and Captain America are similar in terms of their morals and how they try to come to grips with the new lifestyle that they have to adapt to in the sense of the new worlds they've arrived in. Even though Captain America has been on Earth for so many years, when he arrives in the new millennium at the end of the first Avenger, he arrives in like this new world, so to speak. So like I said, I did like the story behind why Batman is fighting Superman. You have these scenes of debate of whether or not Superman can be trusted. The opening scenes, which include footage from Man of Steel with, Superman battling General Zod and the destruction and chaos that follows, and how it personally affects Ben Affleck's Batman, how it personally affects Bruce Wayne, because they actually happen to, and by they I mean Zod and Superman, they actually managed to fight. They actually managed to destroy a Wayne Tech building, which results in numerous casualties of Wayne Enterprises. I think I just said Wayne Tech, but it was Wayne Enterprises, excuse me. And Bruce Wayne takes that very personally, because he lost a lot of good people, a lot of innocent people, and he feels that it's his duty to ultimately defend the Earth from Superman, because he can't trust Superman. And then on the other side, you have Clark Kent, who doesn't really know if Batman is even if his acts of if his actions as a vigilante, if they're justified, because they have these criminals that Batman captures throughout the film, and he bat brands them. It's like his calling card, so to speak. So you have these two superheroes and their two alter egos who don't know if the other is doing what's right in this world. And it's a great sense of conflict within this film. I mean, if you just threw Batman and Superman if the film was just Batman and Superman kicking the crap out of each other for 2.5 hours, it probably would be exciting, but it wouldn't have a story behind it. What I liked about the film was that it, there was this sense of doubt, I guess, this questioning of, is this superhero justified in how he carries out business? Can we trust this superhero? So I did enjoy the conflict between them. And when it finally came down to the epic battle between Batman and Superman, it was a great battle, but if you're expecting them to battle throughout a majority of the film, they only have one major battle. It's a very exciting battle. It's a great battle, but if you were expecting them to just beat the hell out of each other throughout the film, for like the remaining hour or so of the film, you're going to be disappointed. There is one major battle between them. It's fun. It's great. It's entertaining. But if you're expecting them to battle throughout the film for like the last hour, 10 minutes, hour, 20 minutes of the film, because this film is pretty much 2 hours, 35 minutes long. So if you were expecting like some grand battles throughout the film, you will be disappointed, because there's only one battle, but they made it worth it, so to speak. And I feel like they did a fine job building up to it, because in the beginning of the film, it's very slow. It sets a pace, but it's very slow. Once Batman and Superman actually come together, once they actually like meet each other for the first time, not in their costumes, but as Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent, then you start to feel then the film starts to pick up, and then it starts to build, and it ultimately sets the tone for what's going to happen later. So I feel like the filmmakers did a fine job building up to that epic clash. So I feel like once it starts building up toward the clash, the film picks up. The action's great. As far as the other cast members, loved Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I think she's beautiful, and I think she does fine as Lois Lane. Lawrence Fishburne was great as Perry White, editor-in-chief at the Daily Planet. He did well in his scenes. Enjoyed the small scenes with Diane Lane as Martha Kent, Clark Kent's mother. Loved Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I mean, Gal Gadot, she can be my Wonder Woman any day. Damn, man, Gal Gadot. Cannot wait to see her as Wonder Woman in the solo film. But she did well. There were some people in the theater that I was sitting in applauding her when she finally arrived as Wonder Woman, towards the end of the film in the final battle with Doomsday, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. Gal Gadot was great as Wonder Woman. People have mixed reactions mixed feelings about Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I personally thought he did fine. When I found out he was going to be Lex Luthor, when he was cast as Lex Luthor, I really just didn't see him as Lex Luthor, because when I think Lex Luthor, I think, you know, sinister fiend. I think of this, you know, high-tech villain who is out to destroy Superman. He's out to conquer the world. Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, I thought, was very witty, very comical. I think the most comical Lex Luthor I've ever seen. But he had a sinister side to him, too, and I liked it. I really thought Jesse Eisenberg did a fine job as Lex Luthor. No complaints. Like I said, other people have mixed feelings about his performance as Lex Luthor, but me, I enjoyed it. I thought he did fine. You know, like I said, I had my own mixed feelings about him being cast as Lex Luthor, but when I finally saw him on screen and I saw him, you know, as this character, I thought he did well. I thought he did well, and he definitely surpassed my expectations, because I really didn't expect much from this Lex Luthor, but I got to give props to Jesse Eisenberg. I thought he did a fine job as Lex Luthor. They do tease the Justice League in this film, so this is somewhat of a spoiler. Well, not really a spoiler. Okay, I can't say this is a spoiler because I'm going to say how they're revealed. But if you read the cast list on Wikipedia or IMDb, you know that Aquaman and Cyborg make an appearance in this film. They make cameos. I honestly thought they were going to be in the film. Their scenes were going to be like 2 minutes long. They were going to somehow get involved in the final battle with Doomsday. They don't. Instead, what happens is Wonder Woman is looking up a file that she receives from Bruce Wayne. Wonder Woman's looking up a file she receives from Bruce Wayne, and it has 4 different files, and each file has the logo, the emblem of a different Justice League hero. So you have Wonder Woman, of course. Then you have Cyborg, and when they revealed Cyborg, it was kind of a disturbing, it was a gritty and somewhat disturbing scene, because you see his father actually working on him, like actually rebuilding him as Cyborg, and to see Cyborg's corpse hanging, like to see how mutilated his corpse is, and to see it hanging with some of the cybernetic implants. I wasn't disturbed by it, but I thought that was quite gritty, and it might be disturbing to some people, especially if you know what happened to Cyborg in the comics. But it was cool to see Cyborg. I was excited for that. Aquaman, I'm not the biggest Aquaman fan, like, you know, 7 WWE Rocks. We both agreed that Aquaman's only really strong incarnation was in Injustice, his regime counterpart. That I thought made him look like a badass. Other than that, have never really been an Aquaman fan, but the way that Jason Momoa was presented as Aquaman, where he swam out of this little boat and then he you know, pulled out his trident and he stabbed the camera, I thought was great. You know, that got me excited for Aquaman. Jason Momoa in like a 5-10 second scene, 20 seconds maybe, comes out and just makes Aquaman look like a badass, and all he does is swim out of this little boat. And then the Flash is also introduced in this film. Basically in the file that Wonder Woman looks at, this is another spoiler obviously, he's in a convenience store. The cashier is being robbed, and all of a sudden, you know, he uses his speed to knock out the mugger, the robber. And it got me excited for Justice League. You know, I do like the DC heroes like Cyborg, the Flash, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. I do like DC Comics, but I've always been a Marvel guy. You know, I feel like Marvel, with their characters, their TV shows, and their movies, especially their movies, I feel like they always deliver. I feel like they're superior to DC, and I'm not trying to knock on DC, because I feel, you know, DC's been around for years. DC has done its thing with heroes like Batman, Superman, the Flash, Justice League in general. But I've always been a Marvel guy. But the scenes of you know, Aquaman and the cameos by Aquaman and Flash and Cyborg really got me excited for the Justice League film. And yeah, I mean, I'm just interested in seeing how DC is going to pull off the Justice League film, because, you know, Marvel's The Avengers is in a league of its own. I don't think there's ever going to be a superhero team-up film like that that's going to surpass it, you know. But I am excited for the Justice League film. Excuse me. Now on to the final battle in this film, which involved Doomsday. You know, Doomsday could have been better because if you look at Doomsday as he's presented in the trailer, and then you compare him to what he looks like in the comics, huge difference between the two. Huge difference between Doomsday in Dawn of Justice and Doomsday in the comics. And they do pay homage to his comic form towards the end of the final battle, which I thought was great because that's when you have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman all teaming up together against Doomsday. And it was just a great scene, you guys. You know, it was just a lot of fun. Doomsday's face and his head could have been a lot better because it reminded me of those creatures from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. But how Doomsday is brought to life, I don't think that's how he was brought to life in the comics, because I believe Doomsday was an extraterrestrial being from Krypton. How they bring him to life here, I don't think is accurate. But Jesse Eisenberg bringing him to life the way he did it, because there's a scene where he's confronted by Superman, and you know he says, what did he say? Something about your Doomsday. Like after he reveals who Doomsday is, I believe he says, "Meet your Doomsday," or "This is your Doomsday." And the way he did it was just so great. And one other thing I want to comment on is why Superman has to fight Batman. I feel like they did that well. I feel like what was at stake for Superman, why he had to fight Batman, was great. And I feel like they did this, the filmmakers did this better than WWE did with Shane McMahon and The Undertaker, and why Undertaker has to fight Shane at Hell in a Cell, and why he has to beat him with the stipulation that was added. I won't go into detail. I won't say why Superman is fighting, why he's fighting Batman, or why he has to kill Batman, or why he's given that motive. But I do like what they did. I do like the little bond at the end that brought them together, that made them realize they need to join up against Lex Luthor instead of fighting one another. I felt like the story and the pacing for the most part was fine. You know, this film has gotten negative reviews. It's gotten mixed reviews. It has like a 7.5 rating on IMDb, but on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's like a 44%. Me personally, guys, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, a good movie overall, good pacing, good story, strong performances from Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. Yeah, guys, I mean, if you're looking forward to seeing this film, if you really want to see this film, then by all means go see it. Will I buy this on Blu-ray? No, I don't think, I don't see myself buying this film on Blu-ray. But I enjoyed it. Entertaining for the most part, exciting, loved the pacing and the story. Well, I loved Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill in their respective roles. Enjoyed the story, enjoyed the pacing, thought it made up for the slow build in the beginning. And it also felt like this film was just better than Man of Steel. I feel like Man of Steel was a good, strong superhero film, but I feel this one was better than Man of Steel. Entertainment value-wise and just pacing and storytelling-wise. I feel like this film didn't drag out. For a film that's 2.5 hours, once it starts building up toward that epic battle, the rest of the film just goes, just flies right by, in my opinion. I really don't have much else to say about this film, guys. First time I've ever reviewed a film live like this. Not live, but, audio-wise, podcast style on my channel. But just felt like doing it, because, I got caught up in the excitement of Batman vs. Superman. Like I said, I thought it was a good, entertaining superhero film. If I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a solid B. Solid, strong B, I feel like the Lex Man giving out letter grades for these films. But yeah, those are my thoughts, guys, on Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. I gave it a B. Good, fun superhero film. Got me excited for Justice League. Just interested in seeing how the filmmaker is going to pull this film off. And I am about 30 seconds away from the 20-minute mark. So, yeah, I'm just going to wrap this review up right here. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Leave your comments down below. Tell me what you thought of Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Share this video with your friends. And as always, guys, keep going back to my channel for more content. Look out for my NXT TakeOver Dallas review. Well, look out for my predictions first, then of course the review, as well as WrestleMania 32 predictions and review. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to my Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice review. So Obi-Wan Kenobi signing off. Have a nice evening.